This edition of Mac Voices is sponsored by Smile, the makers of world-class software like PDF Pen for Mac, PDF Pen Pro for Mac, PDF Pen for iPhone and iPad, PDF Pen Scan Plus for iPhone and iPad, Text Expander for Mac, and Text Expander for iPhone and iPad. Learn more about all their great products at smilesoftware.com. Mac Voices is also supported by you, our viewers and listeners, through our new Patreon campaign. If you get value from Mac Voices, please consider helping support the show by visiting patreon.com/MacVoices. Welcome to Mac Voices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. And folks, this is an early happy holidays because we're going to start our gift shows. I'm afraid we're falling into the same trap that everybody does. Everybody seems to push the holidays back a little bit farther and a little bit farther. But I also know a lot of you are going to be out shopping on Black Friday, on that crazy holiday shopping weekend. And we wanted to get some ideas, at least a few ideas, into your hands beforehand. Because a lot of us also are trying to shop earlier this year, so we aren't dealing with the crowds later. So with that, the rules are pretty simple, and since this is the first gift jury, we don't have anything that is off limits. We do 3 to 4 rounds of gift picks, our guests and me, telling you why we think they're great picks and why you should buy them or why you should maybe lust after them this holiday season. And we go from there and have a little fun along the way. So with that, let's go for it and find out who's here. First up, the lovely Kelly Guimont. Kelly, welcome.
Thanks for having me on, Chuck.
It's always good to see you. And you even put on a holiday shirt for us.
I did. And I'm going to stand up a little bit and show it off. It's a Dalek made of snow.
Very nice. And if you don't know what a Dalek is, just contact Kelly. She'll be happy to. and you should have
for as long as you have time for me to explain it to you, I will tell you.
You should have the full story by about New Year's. So, Kelly, it's good to see you. Next up, Mr. Mark Fuccio. Mark, welcome back. It's good to see you as always.
Hi, Chuck. Thanks for the invitation back. And I must say, you're getting in early this year. Since I think, if the calendar is correct, we're recording this on February 3rd, 2017.
No, it's not that bad. not because I'm sure that some of the products haven't been released if we were recording that early. But it's good to get.
That's true. I know some of mine have not.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good to get a little bit of an early start. And the other thing too that folks sometimes forget is that all the panelists that I try to gather up, they, believe it or not, they have lives too, and they're traveling for the holidays and get busy doing end of year stuff. So try to get started early. Last but absolutely not least, for his very first Mac Voices gift guide, Mr. Jeff Butts of the Mac Observer. Jeff, it's great to see you.
Hey, Chuck, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
I am delighted to have you. I think you theoretically may bring a whole new perspective to the Mac Voices gift guide. So I'm looking forward to this. Okay.
I'll try not to disappoint.
Well, you do have this reputation for breaking things, so I'm trying to figure out how that's going to fit in with the gift guide.
Well, this time around, I've got some things that I can pretty easily break and then fix again.
Okay, good. That means if you can, maybe we can too.
Yeah.
All right, so let's we'll keep that order if that's okay with everyone. So that, Kelly, that gives you the very first pick of 2017.
Okay. So this is something that's very small, but to me is unbelievably useful and very important. So the one that I have is $10, and the link that I have in the notes will be this one because you can buy it online. And it's it's called a cord minder on the website on the website of the company of the place where I picked it up. I got it in person at a thing here in Portland. And the thing that's great about it, it peels open and it holds your headphones for you. But here's why it's great, because you can adjust the headphones to a preset length, and then you put the rest of the cord in through this little notch in the back. And then you can have them come out to a preset length and then plug them in wherever it is you need to plug them into, and they're all ready to go. And you'll notice that my headphone cord is not tangled, nor is it bent so badly that I'm not going to be able to use my headphones again later or anything like that. I believe these are my headphones from 4 phones ago because I've been trying to be nice to the cords in some form or another the whole time. So this allows me to keep them. And the bonus I'm going to put on there is I have these little things called Earhoox. And that is what I use to make my headphones more comfortable. I don't have AirPods yet because my birthday's in a week and Christmas is coming, and so I'm not basically allowed to buy myself anything interesting for like till January. So I use these to make sure that my ear pods stay in my ears and that they're comfortable. But the thing I really want to talk about is this, and there are lots of them. I got mine, like I said, locally from a person here. I have this one that I picked up. It doesn't have the little notch in the middle, but it's Hello Kitty. A friend of mine got it for me in Japan and gave it to me, and I use that on a different set of headphones. But they're a very nice thing because what's great about it is you unplug your headphones from whatever, wrap them up, snap it, and it takes almost exactly the same amount of time as it would if you just wrapped them up and threw them in your bag and hoped for the best. But it actually keeps them organized, and they don't get tangled, and they don't get damaged. So that's why I like it. And it's $10, the one I have.
Very nice. A stocking stuffer pick right off the bat.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Mr. Fuccio, your first pick of 2017.
Okay, so I think my pick will be easy. I think I have all sorts of gifts and tech and other low-tech stuff. But first, what I think about is it's been a hell of a year with all the hurricanes and floods and all the fires in California. So my first pick is I'd recommend people make a donation to the Red Cross. These are the frontline organizations that gets the first call to go in. So while we're thinking about ourselves and our families, let's think about others who are maybe not so fortunate, and share the love and make a donation to help them, either an ongoing effort or, unfortunately, for their next disaster that they're going to have to get called out and help rescue.
That's a terrific pick. It's kind of surprising because you're the guy that picked one year. You picked viruses.
I have a lot of interests, as you know, Chuck.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, folks, one year Mark picked virus pillows. That you can pick your favorite virus. Now they have a pillow made out of it, and you get it. So
yeah,
I'm impressed. He's improving a lot. He's improving a lot. Jeff, your first MacVoices gift guide pick ever is coming up. Go for it.
Yeah, I think my first pick is the Earhoox Uno Project Smart Robot Car Kit, and what this is. It is, and I've got a link for you, but it's an Arduino board that runs a robotic remote control car. And you build it from components. And the reason that I'm picking this is because I've got an 11-year-old son who loves to build things. And I want to get him into electronics too, but he's just got almost no interest in electronics if there's not a build component to it. Something that he can play with. So I'm thinking that if I get this, we can build it together and maybe get him on board with breaking and fixing electronics as well as other things.
So that sounds like that might be great for my nephew. Roughly, where do you buy it? Is it one thing, or do you have to buy Arduino separate from the car kit? And roughly, how much does it cost?
You buy it from Amazon. And I believe version 3, and it comes with an Arduino board. And currently it is $71.99 at Amazon.
Okay.
And it comes with the Arduino board, all of the resistors you need, all of the screws, nuts, washers, base plates, wheels, batteries, and a remote control.
Now, to be clear, that this is just the control board. This is not the actual car that it controls.
No, it includes the car, too.
Oh, does it? Oh, wow.
Okay.
It includes all of the parts for the car. You build your own car.
Oh, you build the control board and the car.
Yep.
Wow.
Ooh.
For $70, that's not bad.
That's
Yep.
going on my Christmas list.
Yeah. Okay, Kelly, don't. You're not allowed to leave the panel.
So, Jeff, funny, 10 times fast. What was the name of it again?
Earhoox Uno Project Smart Robot Car Kit.
Okay.
ELEGOO.
Okay, I will look at that here.
I can drop the link into Skype.
I have a funny feeling that everybody on the panel is going to be ordering one of these. So folks, if you find that they're out of stock, guess who took them from you?
Okay, we know who to blame.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you want to see one built, that may be coming soon.
Oh,
Sure. Okay, and that would be on Terminal Tinkering.
That would be on terminal tinkering.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. Well, thank you. You did not disappoint me. A geeky geeky pick right out of the box.
I try.
So my first pick, I when I do these gift guide shows, it's kind of tough because the folks, the panelists only have to come up with 3 or 4 gifts. I have to come up with new things every time to try to keep up. So this time, at least to start, I'm going to pick things that have made a huge impact in my life this year from a tech standpoint. And I don't think that there's anything that has had a bigger impact than the Apple AirPods. Because first of all, I had to wait for them for a long time. But once I finally got them, I just was blown away. I ordered them sort of on a whim just because, okay, I knew I could return them and I knew I wasn't going to like them because I'm not a big fan of EarPods. But the AirPods I can't begin to explain to you just how often and how much I wear them. They have taken the place of my Bluetooth earpiece, which has been a pick for all, I think, as long as the gift guides have been going. I've advocated a Bluetooth earpiece. I don't need it anymore because now I've got a right and a left earpod. So that gives me a fantastic battery life. They come with a charging case so that if I'm only using one, the other one can be charging. So I'm virtually never without an AirPod or an AirPod for phone calls of some kind. They sound great. I know that there are folks that are audio snobs that say, well, this sounds better, that sounds better. They may be, but these sound good enough for me, especially given the fact that they don't seal you away from the outside world. You can listen to things, but you're also aware of what's going on around you. And I think that's really, really important. And of course, if as an Apple user, which is why you're watching this show, right? They integrate in with the Apple ecosystem, so they pair right up with your iPhone, your iPad, your Macs, everything. It's just such an easy experience. They work exactly as advertised, and I can't recommend them highly enough. It's a little bit maybe expensive for a set of earphones because you can certainly buy cheaper ones. But if you want the quality and especially want the Apple ecosystem integration, the AirPods should be for you. So Kelly, I'm hoping you get those for your birthday or for the holidays or whatever.
Those are already on my list. And part of the reason was because I decided I didn't want to fool with waiting for them. And so I just sort of put them off. And as evidenced by round 1, I still have headphones that are solid that totally work. So I haven't thought too much about it. So
yeah.
All right.
Okay, so that's round 1. 4 great picks to start us off. Kelly, start us off on round 2.
Okay, so my next pick is also something very, very small. And I would recommend this in 2 stages if you're interested in the whole thing. And that is this little deal right here, which is a Nifty MiniDrive. And here's what's cool about it. If you look at it, it looks like, it kind of looks like maybe it's a micro SD card holder. That's exactly what it is. But if you look at the end, you'll see that it's flat and silver. And where this goes is into the SD card slot on the side of your laptop. And here's why it's cool. Because when you put it in, this is completely flush with the side of your machine. So when you put it in, you don't notice it at all. And the thing that's interesting about it is that if you look right here, you can see I've got a little micro SD card in it. Yep. Micro SD cards have gotten super common. There are lots of phones that use them as storage devices. So actually, literally on my Christmas list right now is a 256 gig one of these. Yes, they exist. This one is 128, and a portion of my iTunes library lives on it right now. And the reason that I do that is so that when I take my computer with me, because I have a laptop and I take it lots of places, I still have a goodly portion of my music with me. So this just pops, let me put that back in there, pops right in here. And then this goes in the side. And the reason I said 2 stages is because when you buy this, you can get it with a card. But in order to get a card of any appreciable size, like a 128 or a 200, or there's a 200 or a 256, something bigger, you would buy that separately and you would just buy this by itself. This by itself is from Buy Nifty, and it's about $40. And lots of things like micro SD cards go on crazy sales during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, things like that. Yep. So you can get this for $40 and then get a screaming deal on the card itself and then give that to somebody. And for some folks, like if they have an older model MacBook Air or have a newer one and maybe they skimped on the storage to get more RAM or something, you could double the amount of in essence, hard drive space in someone's machine with one of these. And it makes it so that you can carry your laptop around with you with all your iTunes on it, or carry around a good backup. Or, if you buy a 256 card for somebody with a 128 machine, all of their Time Machine stuff can back up to this other drive, and they've always got that backup literally within their computer. And you never see it. It's like if you run your hand down the side of my laptop when I have this in, you will feel a little bit of the little notch right here. It comes with a little deal, so you can pop that out. If you need to, it comes with this little gadget, and you slide this right into the side here, and that's how you can pull it out of your computer if you need to. So I had to eject iTunes in order to take this out to show you guys. But for $40, it's a really good way to get that, to give somebody a lot more storage. So if you know somebody with a laptop maybe a few years old and you want to help them out, but for a lot of people, a new laptop for Christmas is sort of out of their range. This is a really easy way for them to get more life out of what they've already got.
I agree. I've been familiar with that product. I think it was a Kickstarter product.
It was.
Yeah.
And the price has come down quite dramatically, because I was considering a couple years ago for my MacBook Air. And ultimately didn't buy it because I moved over to the 12-inch MacBook. But I agree. It's a great product and great way to add additional storage.
And the requirement is an SD card slot. So like Mark was saying, if the person has a 12-inch MacBook or a USB-C MacBook, they don't have that slot to do that. But they custom machine the edges for that and make them exactly for each different model of laptop. So you can't just go buy one and guess. You kind of have to know what computer you're dealing with, but it totally works. It's super great. I've had mine for a few years, and I adore it because now I can have at least some of my iTunes with me wherever I go, and that's really nice.
You've had that for a few years, and you still have the ejection tool?
Yes.
I would have been bending paper clips by now.
Yeah.
I would have been bending paper clips within 2 months.
Well, the reason I still have it is because of a thing I think I advised, because you pop this open and all the little tiny things that run around my desk that would inevitably fall off or fall into the back of my purse or something, they all live in here. So that's how I've managed it. That's how I've managed to save it, because I know I took one look at that and I went, this is not long for my life. And I had to find a place to put it to make sure I still had it.
That's great, because I had one of those too when I still had laptops that had SD card slots, and usually there was one of those always in the SD card slot until I had to pull it out and actually insert an SD card. So yeah, that you're right. As the prices still are coming down and it's still good, but it still feels like at times we're all a little skimpy on the memory we're carrying around. So that's a great pick. That's a great pick.
And you can get, for people, if you don't know what the slot is, this is a very nice, like long-term, you put it in and you leave it there sort of situation. But you can also buy 128 gigabyte. They don't even call them thumb drives. They call them thumbnail drives, because it sort of looks like a Logitech receiver, but it's 128 gigabytes of memory. And most people have a USB port on their computer. So if you don't know, you can always buy one of those. And it's a little nubbin that sticks out the side of your computer, but still for 128 gig, like I would still be totally happy to put one of those on the side of my computer, and it would be awesome.
Yeah, agreed.
Cool.
If you don't know, snoop around and find out what kind of computer they have.
Yeah, no, never mind. Not going there. Mark, get me out of this quick. Round 2 pick.
Okay, beam me up, Scotty. Okay, I have two things that go together. The first is, we're obviously, I think a lot of people have, maybe like I do, maybe an iPhone 7s Plus. Some listeners have maybe upgraded to the 8s, or probably even more waiting to upgrade to the iPhone 10. But as the cameras get better, they can do more than just take a point and click. And it has video, but one thing that's really interesting is take time-lapse video. And for that, I have 2 recommendations. One is a stable tripod. It's made by Manfrotto. And it's basically a small little tripod that legs are about 7 inches. It has a full normal tripod mount on it. And the one I recommend also comes with an adapter clip, so that it will fit around your iPhone. So then on the tripod, you can either put it oriented this way or that way, and you can take time-lapse photography. The Apple built-in app is a little bit weak. So to get something better, I recommend something called Lapsit Pro through the iTunes store. This is an expensive app. It will set you back $2.99. the tripod, there are a range of models, so anywhere from maybe $35 to $60, depending on which one you buy. But I think with this, it will open up all sorts of new opportunities to have some new fun with the camera on your phone.
Mark, you recommended Lapsit Pro to me, I guess a number of months ago, and I've used it in a couple situations now. And the app, like you say, the Apple, the built-in time lapse is great to play with and get started, but Lapsit Pro gives you so much more control, and it's a great suggestion. Obviously go and play with this first, but the tripod is essential, no question about it. But yeah, great pick, because that's a great little app.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's amazing what you can do with the time lapse stuff. For all kind of reasons, they're just cool to start with. But again, if you want more control, they're a lot of fun.
It's amazing what you can do with the iPhone camera in general.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, there's almost no need for most people to even consider a digital SLR camera anymore.
Yeah,
that's true. I think the point and click market has basically been killed by smartphones, and
definitely.
And I think there's a lot of pressure and need for innovation on the traditional DSLR makers as well. So,
yep.
But that's the nature of electronics anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing you need really to buy a camera for anymore, I think, is a zoom lens, or
it's a zoom lens.
Yes.
Yeah, because even with the 7 Plus, 2x zoom isn't all that much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say for most casual photography, the phone is it. But for more specialized things like zoom lens or much wider field of view, you need something different. But like what's that old expression? The best camera is the one in your pocket, or the one that you have with you. So for many of us, that's your iPhone or your Android phone.
Yeah. And like you said, Mark, with that app and a lot of other great apps out there, and I'm sure we'll hear about some in other gift guides. There's just so much you can do with that camera, because it's a super high resolution camera. There's just so many great things about it. So
yes,
Jeff, finish us off for round 2.
All right, the Mod T 2nd Gen 3D printer.
Oh no!
This is a Kickstarter project, but they've met their funding goal. I checked last night; they were at 106% of their funding goal. And this is a company that they've been making 3D printers for a while. And the idea behind the Mod T is to make the 3D printer more consumer friendly. It's got some good aesthetic looks to it. It's got a PVC clear cover that you can remove or put on. And when the PVC cover is on it, according to Brian Chaffin, you can barely hear it running.
Wow.
So
that's my second pick, because
that little doodad, that ejector pin for Kelly's memory card, you just 3D print one every time you need it, right?
Yep, exactly. Or 3D print a whole mess of paper clips. And then I can use them for sim ejector tools and anything else.
Jeff, have 3D printers gotten to that point where you think it's starting to become something that a lot more people will have, and it's not just the purview of the geeks or the people that want to play with it?
I think so. Well, it's not quite there yet, but I think it's getting there. The Mod T is cloud-based, so people can upload their sketches and they don't have to worry about any programming or figuring out how it's going to work. They just have to draw what they want, upload it to the cloud, and the cloud sends it to the printer, and it carves or sculpts whatever they've envisioned out of the plastic filament.
It's coming. It's coming. That's because that just doesn't strike me as that bad a price for something like that.
Not at all.
No. It's I believe the introductory pricing on Kickstarter is $249. There's an early bird, I think, that was $199.
Wow.
Yeah, early bird was $199. There's still one left, and then the backer level is $249. Now this actually means that
What about the materials that you actually print?
Yeah, you get.
Is that more precious than Chateau Lafite wine, or more expensive? Is that even more expensive than HP consumables?
I don't believe so, but you know what? I haven't really looked into that because, well, cool and shiny.
That says it all.
It's probably cheaper than replacement ink cartridges, though. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Just think, Kelly, you'll be able to print Dalek Snowman for all your friends.
That would be awesome. I would be really excited about that. Actually,
I know you would.
Exterminate.
I'll be over here. Yeah.
Okay, so my second pick is something that I really didn't think I needed or would benefit me that much. But this year I got an Eero mesh network wireless system. And I've been absolutely blown away by it. I was using Apple's Airport Extreme, was kind of bummed about the fact that they said that the airports were going away because I often felt that the Airport Extremes were the easiest routers I'd ever seen to set up. And they were until the Eero came along. And the Eero made the setup so nice. And because it's mesh network, it's not like I was having a lot of problems at different points in my house. But with just two of the mesh network plugins in either end of my house, and the actual Eero router is right there behind me, the main Eero, I'm blown away by the coverage of this thing. I mean, I'm probably covering half the neighborhood because I definitely now can go out into my driveway, into my lawn, into the street, and I've got 4 and 5 bars. It's absolutely amazing. The setup is so easy that I honestly just anybody that can work an iPhone app, because that's how it's set up, can use this. And so, in full disclosure, they've been a sponsor of the show, but that's not why I'm recommending it. I'm recommending it because, again, it's one of those things that everything they say about it is absolutely true. And they just announced that they're doing an Eero Plus program that is going to have VPN capabilities, subscription to 1Password, encryption. So if you want to take it to the next level, that's something you can look into. But if you're just looking for your basic wireless router, Eero should be one of the first ones you look at. And I think it may be the last one you'll bother to look at. You'll just go ahead and get it.
And are they still selling direct, or are they running distribution through Amazon or other places?
I don't know, Mark.
They're available at Best Buy.
Okay.
You can buy the Eero at Best Buy.
Okay.
I don't know about Amazon. I haven't looked, but I almost picked one up the other night.
Check EERO, right?
Yes, EERO. Yeah.
Yep, they have at Amazon. Perfect.
Yeah, not surprised. But yeah, it's just one of my themes again is things that just work. They work as represented and they just work, and that's what the Eero does. So,
and if you listen to enough TMO podcasts, you can get a promo to get. Is it free overnight shipping that they usually offer?
Yeah, free overnight.
Yeah. So, but however you get it, go get it. I think in a world where upgrading your routers and keeping them current is important. Eero pushes a lot of their updates straight out to the router, something so you don't have to deal with it, and that's amazingly important if you are tech support for other members of your family that are not so technically inclined. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. Maybe put you on the spot, but say maybe a panelist on the show is invested in airport routers and might want to upgrade to the Eero. What would you recommend as a benefit for the Eero for the spouse to get the spousal approval factor and not think it's just frittering away on money on an unneeded gadget?
How about crack?
The first thing I would say is, that spot in the house where it doesn't quite work, or you're trying to load a web page and it takes forever because in the kitchen is weird or in the bedroom is weird. This fixes that because this gives you outposts to boost the Wi-Fi even further. It's like each of them is its own little Wi-Fi network. And so it's taking from the center and moving outward. It's giving you far more coverage. So if you are a person, say, if I were pitching this at my house, I would say you wouldn't have problems with hooking things up in the living room anymore. You would have strong enough Wi-Fi that all of the smart lights in the house that we bought for all the automated things, none of them have trouble anymore because sometimes those networks get a little flaky out on the edges of Wi-Fi reception and these don't. So those are a couple of good reasons, and those are things I've actually been casually mentioning at my house since Eero started sponsoring stuff at TMO and going, it might be time for us to get a new Wi-Fi situation because this would be a lot easier because like I have a door lock in the garage that I can't put on the smart things because it's too far away. And so I can never get the lock close enough and then go install it. And I can't get the smart things out there far enough and bring it back in without breaking everything else. And so I have this one outlier that basically isn't a smart lock at all because I'm not able to get it on the network because my Wi-Fi isn't out that way. So if I had Eero, we could fix that.
That sounds good because there's a dead spot in the kitchen where bingo.
Perfect.
Yeah. And if you want to listen to music there on your kitchen Echo Base or whatever, like you can't do it now and you would be able to do that.
Right. So I guess I'll study this.
I apologize to Mark's wife in advance for what I've just done to the bank account.
Well, no. We said a panel member. We don't know that it's Mark. We suspect, but we don't know that it's Mark.
Okay. I apologize to the spouse of whoever it is
whoever the panel member is
that is about to get pitched because I gave them a bunch of reasons why they should pitch it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, actually, this would solve a problem. So that would be good.
And honestly, I've known a number of people who have said I had Airport Express everywhere, or all of my stuff was, Apple routers and Wi-Fi extenders and what have you, and upgraded to Eero and couldn't be more pleased. Like specifically from Apple stuff to Eero, super excited about it. I know a number of people who have had exactly that experience.
Yeah,
cool.
That's one of the problems with these gift shows. Not only do they cost other people money, they cost us money.
Us money too.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah. This edition of MacVoices is sponsored by Smile. Smile has upgraded PDF Pen for iPhone and iPad to version 3. And that's exciting news if you use your iPhone or iPad as a productivity device. With the new PDF Pen 3, you can manage your documents just like in the new Files app. Drag and drop documents into place, create new folders, and share multiple documents at once using the Select command. Use Files to import, export, and organize your PDFs. And no matter where you like to store your files, Smile and PDF Pen 3 have you covered, with support for iCloud Drive, Google Drive, Microsoft OneNote, and many other Files-compatible apps. And you might think it's a small thing, but it isn't. PDF Pen 3 has updated highlight colors to help you make the notations you want to make the way you want to make them. Don't forget that PDF Pen 3 on iPhone and iPad goes hand in hand with PDF Pen 9 on the Mac, so that you can access, edit, and share your PDFs no matter where you are, no matter where they are, and no matter what device you have in hand at the moment. If you're running iOS 11, and who isn't, then you need to see what the wizards at Smile have cooked up for you in PDF Pen 3. It has and deserves a place on my home screen because of its power, flexibility, and usefulness. And it should be on your home screen too, on both your iPhone and your iPad. PDF Pen 3 for iPhone and iPad is available in the App Store for $19.99. Get it now and take control of all those PDF documents you have floating around and do more with them. That's PDF Pen 3 for iPhone and iPad from Smile, the makers of world-class software. Check out all their great productivity apps, including Text Expander for Mac, iPhone and iPad, and PDF Pen Scan Plus for iPhone and iPad at smilesoftware.com. Thanks to Smile for being the longest-running sponsor of MacVoices. Okay, so round 3, and I think we're doing pretty good on time. So, Kelly, take us into round 3.
Okay, so my next pick is slightly larger than the ones I've given you already, which have been very small. But mine also is technology agnostic, and I'll show you why. What I have here is a Tom Bihn backpack with Batsmaru on it. This is a Tom Bihn backpack. It's called the Synapse 19. This one specifically right here. There are a number of things about it I love very much, and I'll show you just a couple of them. First of all, it's compatible with any sort of buttons that you want to have on the front of your backpack. So you can see all of mine. I have donuts and an app camp button and some different things. And here's, there are two things about this bag that I love very, very much. And the first is, I'm trying to keep from getting my headphones in the way here. The first is these little straps. And they go on this deal here, which is what holds my laptop. So this is a laptop sleeve. Here's why these are awesome. Because those little straps go all the way down the back of the bag. This is making for riveting video, I'm sure. But you can slide it out. It stays attached. And then you lay this whole thing on the on the belt at the airport. And your laptop is now TSA compatible. You technically didn't have to take it out of anything because I just tucked the lid in the top, or, around my laptop. My laptop stays in here. I can lay the whole thing flat, and everything about it is fine. Now they also have the Synapse has two more of these little tabbies in the front. They sell other things that you can purchase that are it's like a smaller bag. It's got like a zipper pouch and a couple of little pockets on it, and you can clip that in the front, keep all your cables and stuff in it. So those are pretty cool. I have a whole separate cable thing, so I don't use that. But this is really nice because it slides these little rails down the back of the laptop pouch. And then when you're done, and this is a lot easier when there's a laptop in it, you just slide it back in your bag, zip it up, and you're done. And the other thing that I love about this bag so much is that it's got this bottom zipper. And the reason I love that is because it keeps everything from accumulating in the bottom of your backpack where you will never find it again, that weird black hole of like receipts and chapstick and that adapter for that thing that you needed that time, like all that stuff that collects at the bottom. It doesn't, because you have this pocket on the front, and when you fill that, it fills up the bottom of the backpack. And so it's much easier to put those little things in here. So I have a bunch of stuff in there, like my power adapters and things that are stuff that would naturally fall to the bottom of my backpack in the first place. They all go in there. And mine is plain black. One of the things I love about it is that you can see it's red inside. You can get much brighter colors on the inside. And these are all made in Seattle, Washington. And you can get custom. Outside colors and inside colors. Mine's Cordura. They have a few others. They have some that are more water resistant. They have some that are much brighter colors. They also sell a variety of other bags. So if you don't need a full-on backpack, the other thing I love about this, the straps are padded. It fits me comfortably. I'm not a very tall person, and I'm also a woman. I have broad shoulders, but not like men's size broad shoulders. I know a lot of guys who have this backpack who also really like it. It's super comfortable to have to huff through an airport. And if you crisscross the straps over the pull handle on your luggage, you can, wheel it behind you if you really want to. But it's laid out really nicely. It's got the right amount of pockets, which is to say you can sort your stuff out how you need to, but it's not so many that you're going to forget where everything went to. So everything about it is stuff that I really like. You can get, a blue one or a purple one or a bright yellow inside or a gray outside or whatever you want. They're custom made. They have a slightly larger one if you have a 15-inch laptop. Or you don't have to. The other thing I love about it is you can take out the little laptop sleeve and it's just a backpack. Like, it's not 100% tech tailored. So if you want to take it and fill it with clothes and take a trip where your computer doesn't go with you, you can use this for the same thing. It's not geared toward, like, if I'm not taking my laptop with me, the back half of my bag is useless, which you get with a lot of others. They also make shoulder bags. So if you know somebody who just carries an iPad around or just carries a MacBook Air and needs just a small shoulder bag, they have those too. Everything I've ever gotten from them has been amazing. I have a few other bags from them, but this one is the one that I use all day, every day, and I really, really love it.
Good
and
pick.
I think now that I've picked it, I probably ought to be able to tell you how much it costs. I'm trying to see here. Let me look really quick. But like I said, they're made in Seattle. They do have factory tours sometimes. So if you find yourself in the Seattle area and want to be able to do that, you can. But like I said, everything about them is in my opinion anyway, is pretty fantastic. So the Synapse 25, which is the slightly larger one, is $200, and the 19, which is the one that I have, is $190. And you can get them in black, gray, green. There's like a sort of navy blue outside, and they're, like I said, it's super fantastic. I can't say enough nice stuff about it.
Cool.
Yeah, good. Tom Bihn makes really nice stuff, and I know, folks, you can go to the local store and get a ridiculously cheap backpack and it's going to provide a ridiculously little amount of protection for your gear. And so there really are features to some of this stuff, as Kelly very eloquently pointed out. So don't overlook that just because of the price and think, oh, yeah, I just want to throw my backpack on my back. No, you don't. No, you don't. Good pick, Kelly. Good pick. Mark, round 3.
Round 3. So this is, I'm recommending a Ricoh Theta 5 360 spherical camera.
Ooh.
I don't have hands-on experience with it. A colleague of mine on the East Coast does, and he was showing me a lot of what he had done with that recently. He's taken some images, and then because the sort of person he is, he's souped them up in Photoshop and InDesign and created some really compelling-looking things, as well as once upon a time I was in the Twit studio, and Frederick Johnson was a guest, and he was demonstrating a 3D camera about a year ago. So they've come quite far. Basically, you can hold it up and take a picture and create a 3D. It has video, so it can take the simultaneous video around both shots. I imagine a lot of podcasters may start to use this, especially for on location type of reporting. I think it's fantastic. It's a little pricey. It's about $430 or so. There are other 3D cameras out there, but this is one I have direct, trusted recommendation to buy. And if you're already thinking about getting a tripod, just double down and make this a year of photography.
Gee,
yeah.
Make it sound so easy, Mark, to burn my credit card out. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I too know a couple people that are playing with this, and they do some really compelling things. I think that we as the audience are still trying to figure out exactly how to use the 360 video to our benefit. I think the producers are ahead of us, and we as users have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it is new technology, and you do need a specialized viewer to see interpret the 3D image. But I think we can all get on the leading edge of something new and exciting.
Yeah. Good pick. Mr. Butts, round 3.
I'm going to go a little more esoteric. The Ecovacs D-Bot R95 robotic vacuum cleaner.
Ooh.
It's a great little device. It has a 5-stage cleaning system, so it can suck things up, it can brush things out of the way or into it. It has a rotating brush to draw things into the dustbin. But there's also an attachment that comes with it that allows you to mop and then dry your floor. So it's great for carpets. It's also great for hardwood, for tile, for any type of flooring you might have in your house. It uses laser-assisted guidance, so it can detect where the walls are and detect where tall objects are. It maps out your house. They do not sell your map to anybody else, and you can control it from your smartphone.
Wow. From your smartphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I see here on Amazon there's a whole range of them, including some for that will clean up pet hair and things, which
Yep.
I think you've heard the dogs in the background, so that's of interest to me. Do you have this, or is this on your wish list?
I have one.
Oh, cool.
I have one. It runs every morning at 10 o'clock. Alternating days. Some days it just cleans up the kitchen and the dining room where we get a lot of leaves this time of year. And other days it does the whole house. And it'll do the whole house in about 90 minutes.
Wow.
And does it battery operated, or do you have to recharge it?
It recharges itself. When the battery runs low, it takes itself back to its base station, recharges. Once the battery is juiced back up, if it needs to continue cleaning, it goes back to cleaning.
Now, if we
Except
can only
where it
get
left
plans,
off.
yeah. Now, if we can only get plans for this for the 3D printer,
Right. And you can control it from that Amazon device, whose name I will not say.
Oh, you mean Alexa buy toilet paper? That device?
Oh, good. Thanks, Mark. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guess what? Headphones for just that reason.
Yeah. We're sorry, folks. and his email is no, never mind. Okay, good.
So, yeah.
That sounds interesting.
It's fun. iRobot makes one too, but I think there's been a little bit of controversy over whether or not what they're going to do with their mapping data. Mm-hmm. And Ecovacs hasn't fallen into that. They've come right out and said, no, we don't upload your maps to anybody else.
Oh, that's
They're
good.
only stored for your use.
Yeah. Nice. Good pick.
Thank you.
And I think I'm going to rearrange my picks a little bit. And so allow me to tell you a quick story. This year, as viewers of MacVoices know, my Twitter account was hacked. And it was hacked because one of my email addresses, that was not the one I used for the show mainly, but one of my email addresses was hacked for about 15 minutes. And that's all it took for them to be able to reset my Twitter account, delete all my tweets, make it private, and just cause all kind of havoc. So I learned a pretty good lesson, I think, about a lot of things. But the point of this one is that I think it's time, folks, that you give up on letting your ISP provide your email. I think it's time that you get your own email and your own domain, or for those that you care about. Not that much money, and you can buy packages that will include a domain and an email address. And to do this, I really recommend going to Hover at hover.com. Buy an email address, buy a domain, okay? And I know what you're going to say, so I'll fix that in a minute. But buy a domain and then buy an email address with that domain, and now you've got a professional email package being managed by someone that knows, first of all, they know what they're doing, and second, will actually answer the phone if you have a problem. None of this, email and hope and wait. They answer the phone, and they've been fantastic as far as service goes. Now, I know you're going to say, yeah, but I don't need a domain because I don't want a website, or I don't have time. I don't know what I would do with it. Fine. Talk to the folks at Hover. They will show you how you can take your domain and point it to your Twitter account, to your Twitter page, to your Facebook page, anywhere you want. If you have nowhere else to point it to MacVoices. I don't care. But the point is that you now own that. So if Kelly Guimont gets kellyguimont.com, it's hers for as long as she will pay for it. Nobody can take it. And then if she wants to move that email service to somebody else, should she not be happy with Hover, which I can't imagine, but if she does, fine. She can move it. But she will always then have that domain. And it's such a simple thing. But it's so much easier because you just don't know what the companies are going to do. And as much as we all like Apple, am I at .me, .mac, let's see, what else? What is it? iCloud?
iCloud.
They keep changing it. And it gets a little crazy. This way you have one domain. You can always add other email addresses to that domain if you want to, but it just becomes something very flexible. So whether it's your name or an identity of some kind or whatever, one little practical caution I will give you, that if you think it's a really great idea to take your first, middle, and last name and that is it, well, yeah, that's great because it's probably easier to get, but it also is a whole lot more hassle to type. So just be aware of that. But other than that, I can't tell you what the domains will cost because they vary depending on whether you go with a .com or a .net or any of the other dots that are out there now. I think their mailbox packages are as little as $30 a year. And when you think about everything that passes through your email account, you think about your bank statements, broker statements, password resets, all those things. This is something I don't want to be trusting to my ISP or anybody that is less than professional and less than reliable. So go get a domain and an email box from Hover and get yourself a little more secure.
Good pick.
Thank you.
Excellent pick.
Thank you. So guys, that's 3 rounds. Do you want to go for 4? I think we have time if you want to.
Sure.
You're the boss.
Okay. I love it. Kelly, take us into round 4.
Okay. Well, we have extended the App Camp for Girls fundraiser. So I'm going to point out that the Indiegogo for that is continuing. And one of the nice things about donating to the App Camp fundraiser is App Camp is 501c3, so it's nonprofit. So you can donate, and that donation is tax deductible. And then also we have some really great perks that doesn't count toward the tax deductible of it. So if you donate and get a t-shirt or you get the notebook set or things like that, you have to take that out of the part that you actually donated. But you can still get a tax break for donating to App Camp for Girls. It's for App Camp 2020. We want to expand to 3 new cities in the next 3 years. We expanded to Chicago this year. It went really well, and we're looking to continue. So if you're still looking to donate, if you've already donated to the Red Cross, which was Mark's awesome pick earlier, you can also donate to App Camp. You can, and like I said, there's perks. There's a mixtape. There's a really cool art tile. There's the notebooks, and I love the pattern on the notebooks and on the t-shirts they're pretty great. And you can also just donate money. Like one of the things with the fundraiser style Indiegogos is if you want to donate a little more, but you don't want to go all the way up to the next backer level that's listed on the page, you can just donate money. And I'm actually doing that for my birthday. I put that up on Facebook. They have the little, select a nonprofit. So for my birthday, if people like what I do and like to listen to me talk about stuff, like to listen to me laugh at things, because apparently that's the thing people enjoy, you can go give a little bit of money to App Camp, and, $10 or $20. Like every one of those little pieces helps us immensely with App Camp. And you can find out way more about App Camp because Chuck was kind enough to have me on earlier to basically just do a show talking all about App Camp and what it is and what it means and what we're trying to do. So you can go find that later if you so desire. And that would be my pick. And I've actually had a few members of my family who were like, it's impossible to shop for you because there's no Sanrio store here and I don't know what Star Wars thing to buy you. So I'm just going to go give money to App Camp instead. And that's always an excellent decision as far as I'm concerned. So that works out really well. I'll have a link to the Indiegogo and a link to the website because we do take donations all year round, but right now we're focusing on this fundraiser in particular.
Good. And I'll make sure I have a link in the show notes to Kelly's previous appearance on MacVoices talking about App Camp. But it is so important for our community and for the future of our community. So great pick, Kelly. Very good.
Yep.
Mark, last pick.
Last pick. Okay, so for this, actually, I have a book pick. And the title of the book is called A Man for All Markets. It's written by Edward O. Thorp. And E.O. Thorp has a very interesting career. He started his career as a mathematician, and he got interested in blackjack. And he realized that the odds don't stay the same, unlike, say, you're playing a roulette wheel or craps. That with blackjack, that the odds change based on what cards are played. So he developed one of the first counting systems, and he described some of his adventures of initially going out to Vegas and getting some interest. He published a paper about it, a mathematical paper, and somehow I guess the mob must pay attention to math journals because he tells the story of how he got approached by this somewhat seedy gentleman who wanted to sponsor him at Vegas. And he said, basically, Ed, I'll sponsor you $100,000 and we'll split the winnings in this sort of ratio. And Thorpe says, no, he wasn't comfortable at that level. So he did it for $10K and he went in. Ultimately, he got banned. They would recognize him because he's the guy who comes in and, he was winning. Well, he tells a lot of stories about that. He tells how he had developed a machine to predict where a roulette wheel would fall, and how this was the first wearable computer. And somewhere along the line, he got interested in Wall Street, thinking just like the crap tables or roulette and blackjack tables, there's a lot of money changing hands, but there's underlying mathematical reasons for what certain outcomes or likelihood of outcomes are. So he applied his mathematical background and was one of the first original quants and built a very successful hedge fund And he described some of the things along the way of how Rudy Giuliani was getting going, kind of shut down. They had a thing called Princeton Newport Partners. He was in Newport. He had a fellow in Princeton, and Giuliani just sat on them and they closed the firm, and he opened it up later on. But the thing about it is it's very episodic. He tells a very interesting life. He talks about kid growing up in the Depression, and how he was learning to blow things up and build rockets. And it's a great book. It's available on Amazon. I learned about it around this time a year ago, and then pre-ordered it. And then one day woke up in January and I had the thing, and wasn't quite a page turner because there are no pages, but it was very compelling, and it was really a great read. So I'd heartily recommend that. And sort of a elaboration on this is for anybody out there who are Prime members, go and pay attention. They've added a lot of benefits for ability to get through a Kindle app, on your iPad or iPhone or Mac, all sorts of other books and magazines. So Amazon is doubling down and continue to make Prime more attractive. So first recommendation is Edward Thorp's Man for All Markets. If you search, you can find him on a couple of podcasts talking about it. Really fascinating, really interesting. And back to you.
Thank you. Thank you. That sounds interesting. I'm always intrigued by the people that are smart enough to figure the ways to beat the system. So, yeah, good. Thank you, Mark.
It's always interesting to hear how someone went about it too, like how they got in their life, the journey that they took to get to where they were, and then came across that kind of discovery. I always am a sucker for that. I just want to piggyback on Mark's really fast that a lot of libraries are teaming up with Amazon so that you can borrow ebooks through your library card into the Kindle app, which is really awesome. If you haven't checked it out in a while, you should go see what your library has to offer because you can get a lot of stuff for free. I've read tons more in the last year or so since my library opened up a whole lot of their stuff out of Overdrive and straight into you can loan books and have them in the Kindle app because I have a Kindle and I have the app on all my stuff. And so whenever I have a few minutes, I can sneak into the margins and read a few pages of something at a time. And I've read so many more books now that I'm doing that instead of playing a game or something else. I've been trying to shift more towards reading and getting more reading because I really like a lot of books that have come out lately. So check that out. Like my library also offers lynda.com. I know Seattle Public Library offers Safari membership. So all the O'Reilly books are available through your library card in Seattle's library system. So go check out what your library has. And there's a whole lot that might be available to you that you just didn't even know about.
Good point, Kelly. Good point.
Fascinating. That's great.
Yeah, definitely. Because I've heard about that, and I admit I've been negligent in checking it out because I just never seem to get there. But that's a good reminder.
Yeah, because my downfall was always I'm really excited about checking books out of the library and I'm really terrible at returning them. And this way they just get returned by themselves. Yeah. And so it's easy. Or if I'm not done, I can go, wait, I need to renew that. And then I can continue reading it for my next checkout period or whatever. And with my library, there's a whole list. So I have like a list of books I want to read. And then I can go ahead and put one on like, yes, check this out to me. The next time a copy is available, and then I get an email that it's there waiting for me, and then I can go read it, and it's a piece of cake. And I'm still not as good at returning them as I should be, but it doesn't matter anymore because there's no fee involved. They just go back and go, your book has expired, and then you're done. Yeah. So that has been like super helpful for me as far as like not being able to get stuff back to the library in time or having to go and like renew and then take everything back later. So it's not everything, but like a lot of big titles, like if you saw someone on TV talking about their new book that's coming out, that book is probably going to be available in an ebook version you can read on your Kindle. And with everybody's vacation time coming up, it seems like a really smart thing to do. Sit down and take a minute and find a good book to read while you wait, because you're going to end up waiting somewhere at the bus, at the airport, in the car.
TSA.
TSA. Yeah. Hiding out from your family. You know, it's nice to have a good book to read while you're doing that. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm flying to Wyoming for Thanksgiving, so I think I'm going to load up my iPad with some books.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. And I'm going to put in a plug while we're doing this for the Kindle app, because don't have to have a Kindle. You know, the Kindle app is just fine. And I've actually, in a lot of ways, I prefer it to the Kindle because now I'm only carrying one device, and the battery life is fantastic on your iPad, no matter which size iPad you have, which iPad you have. So yeah, good.
I actually use my Kindle in bed because it doesn't have the blue light. And so when I'm reading, or if I'm up at night and I can't sleep, I will use my Kindle because the e-ink doesn't do all the stuff to your brain that using your phone screen or whatever does. So I have that by my nightstand. That's what I use if I want to read, like while I'm in bed or if I can't sleep. And then I read the rest of the time on my other screens.
And doesn't straighten me out, Kelly? Does my place get synced across? So I thought so. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, across everything, whether it's a Kindle or whether it's an app, it will do that. It will check. So when I'm reading on my Kindle and then I open up on my iPad will say, the spot that you're at is not the furthest spot. Do you want to go there? And then you just hit OK, and it will take you to where you left off on your last screen that you were reading on. It's cool. Fantastic. It's one of those reviews, sort of like you were talking about earlier, Chuck, where like it's the greatest review because it's the most boring review. Like everything works. It does what I want. You know, I never have a problem with it not behaving, and it always does what I need it to do, which is like the best possible review. But it's like, but it sounds really boring to just be like, it always does everything. When I open it up, there's my book. I can pick up where I left off. If I go to a different screen, it does the same thing there, and all of that works.
Okay, so all that brings us back to Mr. Butts for his fourth and final pick. Jeff?
Yeah. I'm going to go with something that's going to lead you down a dark, deep road of technology fun.
The command line.
What's that?
The command line.
Well, no, a little more geeky than that. The Arduino Inventor's Guide.
Okay.
Oh boy.
This is what really got me in trouble. But it's also what eventually led to having a podcast where I get to build things and then show how I built them and talk about how I built them and have fun. Whether you want to get started with Arduino or Raspberry Pi, it doesn't matter. It's a lot of fun. It's a great hobby. I've shown how you can do some real world useful things with both. Right now, I've got an Arduino-based temperature and humidity sensor running that talks to HomeKit. And I can just look at my watch and see what the temperature is in my room. And it also pulls in information from weather underground so I can get the weather outside, all of that good stuff. With Raspberry Pi, I've built a Homebridge Pi that connects the things that don't do HomeKit to HomeKit. So, but the Arduino Inventor's Guide is a great way to get started. It's easy, hands-on projects. It doesn't require a lot of money. The materials that you need for the projects beyond the electronics components are things that you just have laying around, like a styrofoam cup or a cardboard box or something like that. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. This guy is $34.95 on Amazon. There's only one left in stock, so order soon. But if you go to sparkfun.com, you can order it from them too.
Very nice.
Back to you, Chuck.
So that you're going to try to get the rest of us in trouble is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Misery loves company.
Oh, actually, there's a Kindle edition for $18.
Oh, okay. I didn't find the Kindle
and it looks like, or at least it's offering it to me for $18 in paperback. Oh, that's used. New is $23.36.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks. I'm excited. That's going on my wish list right now. Actually.
Cool.
Yeah. Costing us money. Jeff, thanks.
Yeah. Jeff, we'll have to follow up later on the Homebridge situation because I've made a couple runs at that and failed, and I'd like to stop failing at it.
Not this week, but next week, I think that's going to be on Terminal Tinkering.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, my last pick is one that I give every year, and every year I get emails saying, wow, what a great pick, I didn't think about it. And I'm always intrigued by that. But I'm going to suggest that you watch the deal sites carefully and pick up some iTunes gift cards for between 15 and 20% off. You can, at different times of year, you can find them for 10 to 15%. But this is the only time of year it seems like that every so often, if you're quick, you can get them for 20% off. But even 15% off is not a bad deal. And I don't care if you don't buy a lot of music. That's not the point. Once you scratch that little thing off or enter the code, it's in your iTunes account. So now you can buy music, you can buy movies. It means that you potentially have a 15% discount on all the software you will buy next year. And that includes everything from the $299 Lapset Pro that Mark mentioned, the whole way up to Final Cut and Motion and Logic and all of the high-powered pieces of software. You just have to sort of remember that you're getting that 15% automatically because you paid 15% less for the card. But it's simple, it's easy, pretty darn secure. There are some firms that sell them off eBay. Sometimes the big box stores like Best Buy will sell them, but just watch the deal sites because those deals are out there and it's just an automatic discount. And depending on which credit card you buy with, you may either get airline miles or maybe another point or two off. So it's just a win all over the place. So iTunes gift cards discounted. Go get them for stocking stuffers, for yourself, for your friends, family, anybody. The guy on the street, hand them a discount iTunes card. They'll love it.
Right.
I would point out you have to double check whether or not what you're getting with those is codes or actual pieces of plastic with a card attached, because sometimes, like I know, I think it was Staples was doing electronic ones, and then some of the ones on eBay are cards. And Costco usually has a deal on them, and it's usually it's between 10 and 15%. I don't remember, but with Costco you get like $100 worth, but it's like 425s. So if you want smaller amounts that you can drop in a card for somebody or drop in a stocking for somebody, if you have a discount place, I don't know if Sam's Club does it too. We don't have those here, but places like that, then you can get you can get a similar deal if you have access to shop at a place like that.
That's a great point, Kelly. I didn't think about that because I'm just thinking about getting the amount and getting it into the iTunes store. So you're right. Whether
because electronic can be weird for some people. Like if I was going to give one to some of my family members, it would have to be the piece of plastic because they understand that. And like check your email for a thing isn't necessarily as exciting for some folks. So you may have to like send those to yourself and then print them out and then, give the piece of paper to someone or something. But it's not too bad a way to make it happen if you want to do that. We've done a lot of iTunes cards with success for family that we have in places where we don't get to visit them at Christmas time. So we can send them, ahead of time to someone up there and go, hey, here's, iTunes for people. Here's iTunes for all of the people in the family up there that we don't get to visit. And, and then they get dished out there, however they get dished out. But it's a nice way to sort of coordinate remote gifts for people as well. And those you can pay for Apple Music with those, which is another thing. Like if you're somebody looking to renew Apple Music, if you can do it for $85 or even $80, like that might be a little bit more palatable than the $99 that it would be otherwise. So that's also a deal that you can kind of look at as well. And any subscriptions.
And they don't expire. So don't forget that too.
Yeah.
That if you buy $300 worth of gift cards today and don't buy anything for the next year, you're still going to have that $300 credit. But how many of us go any length of time without buying something in the App Store?
Yeah.
So
can I interject two quick money-saving picks?
Sure. Go for it.
So first is for trade-in. This is something I learned about on one of your shows when Steve Sandy was there, and I used it. It's a site called Declutter, DECLUTTR.com. Yeah. I use that to trade in sort of my prehistoric ancient Series 0 Apple Watch when I upgraded to Series 3. And I got a really good price for it. So
he's not talking to you. You're still pretty.
Yes. Yes, you still want to, you still love for another 2 years or so. But so it worked out really well. They seem to focus on watches, phones, and a little bit on games or gaming cartridges. Another thing I've used much more is Amazon's trade-in. And it's a little bit hard to find, but I've used it. gotten much better deals on selling them iPhones after I upgrade. Typically, they come in about 40 or 50% more than some of the other leading recycling places. That I don't know. I don't know if the G Company has been on your show as a sponsor. I don't want to out them, but consistently I've gotten better trade-in deals off of Amazon on all sorts of wide variety of things, like once an old video camera, one of those little handheld things that Kodak made right around the time that Cisco bought their video company, and the whole market collapsed. I even sold, so last year updated, did a trade-in to Amazon for my iPhone 6, and also the case. I upgraded the case and got like $7 for the case, which, hey, it's better than nothing. Otherwise, it would have just been tossed in the recycle bin. So
cool.
They're two good ways to help convert some of your unused stuff back into cash. So I'll send it to you in the trade-in. It's Amazon trade-in, but as I say, it's really hard to find. I've made a note to save the URL because without that, it's almost impossible to locate it, because their site is just so busy.
When I'm logged into Amazon with my Amazon Prime account, the trade-in link is right there on the right side of the menu bar. It's small text, but it's there, and that's a good pick too.
I want to piggyback on that. Wirecutter has a Wirecutter deals section. And the reason I love their deals section is because they wade through like all of them for me, and I don't have to filter, because they're only going to show me the stuff that's worth seeing, just like everything else on Wirecutter. So that's been really awesome. Looking for, like, as Black Friday deals start to trickle out and stuff, they're posting some of those things. And I love theirs because they do the same thing as what Deal News used to do, which is this is like, it commonly goes for sale at this price, or this is $5 lower than the lowest price we've ever seen, or it's like halfway between like the best price ever and what the regular price is. And they sort of tell you like how good a deal it is that you're getting. And then the other one is there's a place called Power Max. They have a retail store in my area, but they're online, and primarily they do mail order, and they will take Apple trade-ins. And the best thing about them, I traded in an iPad to get a newer iPad for Mr. Kelly 2 Christmases ago. And the best thing about them is that if you can't be without your whatever it is, and you're trading in for something else, you can buy it from them, and then you get the quote for your trade-in, buy whatever the new thing is that you want, send them your trade-in, because once you get everything set up, then you can send yours to them, and then they will credit back to your purchase whatever the trade-in amount was. So like, I have the opportunity to just take it in and hand it to them over the desk in their retail store, but they will do it online so that you are never without the device it is that you're trying to trade. So you don't have to go a week without a laptop or without your new iPad if you want to trade up to a Pro or something like that. They have a lot of opportunities for that. They will take a PC. I know they will do that. And they also do sell some of those devices back as used devices. So if you're looking to get a deal and maybe you don't need a touch bar, or you don't need a 5K iMac or something like that, and you're just looking for something slightly more modest that's a little more budget friendly, they have those available to you, and you can buy things from them as well on to get your hands on Apple hardware if you are so inclined.
Okay, Kelly.
Yes.
The way Power Max works, do you get the credit for your trade-in item before or after you pay for your new item?
After.
Okay. So how is that different from just buying something new and then am I missing something here? Is there a cost benefit?
For me, it's higher trade-in value. I haven't tried to do anything much with declutter, but I got more than twice what Apple wanted to give me for the iPad when I went to trade it in. And so, like I said, I had the opportunity to walk in and just apply all of the discounts in one transaction. But they give you the opportunity to, if you can't be without, you can send it in and get credit with them and then apply that credit to your device if you can be without it. But if you cannot, they offer the option of just refunding part of the purchase that you made initially. So.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can't be without.
That's a pretty cool feature. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So will they just do trade-ins, or will they just do trade-ins, or is it linked to resale that you buy and upgrade with them?
You can get you can get money from them, but if you do a trade in with them, it's more. So it's like a lot of places like, yeah, we'll give you $80, but $80, but we'll give you 120 toward, in credit towards something here. So yeah, they do that as well.
Okay.
Cool.
And not a lot of places have used, like you can find refurb pretty commonly, but not everybody just sells like last year's computer from a lease or whatever. And, you can get that, can get that kind of stuff from them. So it makes it a very nice site to have. And their mail order stuff is awesome. I know people who aren't able to shop in their retail location who have had great success with them for many years. They've been around forever. They're older than Apple stores. They were one of the AARs back in Apple authorized resellers back in the day.
Okay. Cool.
This looks good. I've never heard of them before, but that's great. Yeah, this is.
As revenge for recommending expensive things to me, I'm going to tell you to click on that garage sale link. They have like a clearance section, and at $2 here and $5 there, like a couple $100 later, it's very easy to have a terrifying looking shopping cart.
Okay.
But they like that cable I need for that thing, or that weird little adapter for my iPod to do whatever it is, because I still have like an OG iPod, stuff like that. They have all that stuff, and it's always super fun to go prowl through their clearance stuff.
Okay.
Great.
I'll definitely.
Thank you guys.
I'll definitely consider it.
A lot of good picks. We covered a lot of ground today.
Cool.
It'll be a challenge for some of the subsequent juries to come up with things, but this is going to be a lot of fun to go through these. And yes, you guys cost me money. So before we break, I want to make sure everyone has a chance to tell the folks where they can find you when you're not here picking gifts and costing me money. Kelly, we'll just keep the same order.
Great. Well, I'm a founding volunteer of App Camp for Girls. You can find out more about App Camp at appcamp4girls.org. And you can find me on Twitter as Verso, and I'm usually on the Mac Observer Daily Observations podcast, sometimes with Jeff. I show up on Wednesdays most of the time, occasionally here and there. And I show up on other podcasts. I have my own that I've started doing with Kelly Acoyne about the Portland Trailblazers. We're about to get that going. The Westworld podcast is coming back. You can hear me talk about a wide variety of stuff. It's not very hard to find, but you can check it all out.
Thanks so much for being here, and happy holidays. Mr. Fuccio?
Thanks. Happy holidays to you.
Probably the easiest way to reach me for just casual stuff is on Twitter. It's at Mark Fuccio, MarkFuccio, or for more professional related stuff, reach out via LinkedIn.
For your picks and for being here, and happy holidays to you and your family as well. Jeff?
Sorry.
Happy holidays, yes.
Alexa just spoke. I don't know why. Sorry about that. Yes.
Yes. I don't know.
Echo Base.
Yeah, right.
You have to spell her Echo Base.
When you're not here being interrupted by my Amazon device.
You can find me at Mac Observer. I write there daily. I also write for App Advice as Jeff Burns, Byrnes. You can find me on Twitter as at Clefmeister. That's CLEFMEISTER. Where else? I'm regularly on Daily Observations with Jeff Gamet, occasionally on Apple Context Machine, and I have my own podcast, Terminal Tinkering, that airs
So there's
every
no
week.
shortage of Jeff.
There is no shortage of Jeff at Mac Observer in general, since there's two of us.
That's a good point.
Are you wearing pants?
Don't answer that. Don't answer.
I'll never tell.
Okay.
Neither does Jeff Gamet.
We held our standards up here, folks, right till the end, and then just.
As a general rule, there aren't a lot of pants at Mac Observer. Please don't ask me how I know.
Happy holidays, Jeff. Oh, God. Oh, Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Chuck.
Hey, until
Merry
the
Christmas.
next time, folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices, the Mac Jury on MacVoices. We are having a whole lot of fun. We're going to have a lot more as we head into the holiday season with more of these. And I hope you'll join us. And I hope we can cost you some money, but get you some good stuff in as well. Until the next time, and as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our MacVoices Facebook group and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us at patreon.com/MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.